Hello out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel, and I appreciate the comments and the ongoing subscriptions. Today I'm going to do another special video, and as I think of things, I try to post short videos as far as I think this might be helpful to the beginner or even the intermediate guitar player. Because there are a lot of things when it comes to music study that they don't teach you, and you kind of figure it out yourself, or you just continuously, aimlessly go through trying to figure out things that you never can get a handle on. And I ran across a gentleman in Chicago when I was living out there by the name of Frank from the Conservatory of Music. And prior to meeting Frank, I had been studying guitar off and on for several years, and I kept quitting because I kept running to the same type of teaching, meaning that they wanted to force me to play stuff or learn stuff that I would never use. And I'm like, what is the purpose of this? And the purpose supposedly was, you can't play the stuff off the radio until you can play this stuff, which is absolutely false. They could take you right to radio land from day one. And that's what I kept running into until I met Frank. And I thank God for meeting Frank, because Frank opened up the door for me. And within a matter of, I'd say 3 weeks, I kid you not. Prior to that, I couldn't read music, but 3 weeks after meeting Frank and his teaching, and I only actually went to one session, because it was kind of expensive. But 3 weeks later, I was able to read, He showed me something very simple, and it makes sense that nobody ever taught me. So throughout, the time or period, I'm going to, put together little videos that I think, hey, this might help the new guy because he don't know what he doesn't know. And this video is entitled, Learning How to Approach Reading Sheet Music for Rhythm Guitar Players, Reading Charts. Because basically that's all we need to learn. It's just the charts. Unless we're doing the lead line or there's a solo in there that you can't pick up by ear. But I'm going to attempt to try to, share some information with you that might be very helpful. So the first one is this. When I first was attempting to try to read sheet music before I met Frank, I followed the chart. That's in the book. You see these little, probably not, but these little chord charts over, the lead lines. And almost 100% of them are in first position. But most of the songs that you hear off the radio, with the exception of folk, bluegrass, and country western music, is not in first position. So those chord inversions are not correct as far as the recording, because most of us like to believe that when you get to sheet music, you're going to play the record, the song, to the letter. No, you have to kind of tweak it, and I give you a good example of that. Here it is, The Police Complete. And one of my favorite all-time songs is a song that when I'm always warming up, I play it all the time, and I'm sure you know what it is when I start playing it. Message in a Bottle. And that's exactly how Andy Summers on the recording plays it. But according to the sheet music, this is how you're supposed to play it, or this is how it reads. Now you tell me, isn't there a big difference between what I just played and what I played earlier? Absolutely. Unfortunately, sometimes the sheet music is not detailed, because the artist might have a certain way of playing it, meaning inversion versus the standard sheet music. Now, you can buy, and it's very hard to find, it's very expensive. It says the complete transcription. And what that means is this. It plays, or it's tabulated to the letter from the record. If there's a guy in the background clapping, it's actually showing up in here. If there's a guy playing a harmonica in the background, it shows up here. It gives you every instrument and what it's doing in this book. I personally believe that this should be the standard for sheet music. There shouldn't be a special complete transcription. It should be, I pay to get the information from the record onto here or from here. But unfortunately, it's not that way. So, you have to be careful, because I just did a cover of Average White Band Cloudy, which I do have the sheet music, and the sheet music is correct as far as the voicings, the chord charts, but that song, it modulates, meaning that it takes a half step up near the middle of the song. That is not in the sheet music. I'm looking for it, it's not there. So unfortunately, they don't put a lot of effort into the sheet music because there's like a tier, and the first information or thing on the tier is the recordings, selling the records or the CDs. That's the most important thing in the music industry. Sheet music is like down there on number 4, somewhere down the bottom. So unfortunately, they don't give it the same kind of attention as you going out and purchasing a CD. And I think I mentioned in my other video, actually I did, I'm gonna mention it here. I ran into a lot of sheet music that was not in the key of the recording. And I'm like, why is that? Because it doesn't make any sense, because I'm going to tell you, how you develop your ear is listening to the recording and trying to play along, because playing along is your first band. You know, you're actually sitting here with the record and you're playing along with it. That's your first band. And then when you get good enough, you go out there and form a band and you play the music. But again, I was trying to find out why the sheet music is not like in the key of the song. So I actually called Harold Leonard and I asked him, I said, why isn't it in the same key? And they gave me a scenario that kind of made sense, but still not beneficial to the consumer. And it's just an example for unique situations like Steely Dan. Their stuff is pretty complicated. They use very exotic chords, a lot of movement in their songs. They're not a 3-chord song group. So you might need, for the beginner, a modification, and that's what they claim they do. Well, they figure it's too tough for the guy that's trying to play, so we put it in another key where there's not a lot of weird chords, and you know, we print it, or we press it. But I told the gentleman on the phone, I said, well, I think if you took a survey as far as, do the consumer want the song in the right key so they can attempt to play with it and develop their ear, or do they want someone to water it down for them in a different key and they can't play along with the record? And this is the request that I have for you subscribers. You tell me what you think you would like, you know, because me personally, when I buy sheet music, I want it in the key of the song regardless of how many difficult chords in it, because I can figure that out and make me a better guitar player. Or do you want someone to water it down for you, put it in a different key, and you can't match up or show any type of accuracy in your playing with the record because you can't play along because it's in a different key? So please leave me a comment and let me know which one is more important to you, getting sheet music in the right key or getting something easy in a different key that you can't play along with the record. Because I'm quite confident that I believe that the majority of you guys want something in the same key, you know, because it defeats the purpose if you can't play along with the record and develop your ear. Because again, that's where your ear gets developed, by sitting down with a record or CD these days and playing, you know, and keep playing until you get it right, until you can start to hear it, you know. So that's, you know, my request for you guys. Send me a comment and let me know if what's more important to you, you know, having it in the same key and trying to figure it out on your own if it's tough, or having it in a different key and you can't even play along with the record. Because I would say 70% of the song books that I have, they're in different keys. And the rationale is it's too hard, so we make it easy. Now, that might be, again, the case in Steely Dan's situation, but I've got songs over there that are very simple, but they're still in a different key. You know, there's no diminished chords, augmented chords, anything. It's just major, minor, minor 7s, minor 9s, or, you know, that's it. So I don't understand why, you know, they still do that, because I think sometimes it's more of a corporate decision versus a logical decision. And those are two entirely different animals, you know, as far as corporate and logical. Because as far as the song Cloudy that I did, I think the reason why they didn't add the modulation, because it required an extra page in the book, and that costs money. So they call themselves being cheap or cutting corners and just giving you the beginning and let you try to figure out the rest. Now, for me, it wasn't that difficult. It was just a pain in the butt to do it, because I had to sit down, take a piece of paper, and lower everything, or should I say raise everything, all the chords in the chorus. But, you know, I can do that. But for the beginner, you know, it's a little discouraging that, you know, they flipping the pages and that page they're looking for is not there. So, you know, again, a lot of times it's a corporate decision. It's not a logical decision, which is two different animals. So I'm signing off now, and as I think about things that might be helpful to you guys, you know, I'll post a video. Or if you have a question that, you know, you want to pose to me, I'll either email you, inbox you, or, you know, might do a video. So until next time, take care. Thanks.